Are you ready? Because we're going 5 pounds down every 4 weeks in 2022. And today, I've got a great low impact power walk for us. No equipment needed, so let's go. All right, Killer Bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. And that means that we are getting started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are all about making peace with our menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. Can you tell how much I love that? Do you know what really feels like self-love? Losing weight with the 5-0 method, which means that we're doing 5 things every single day that make you say, oh, I had no idea that losing weight could be this easy and fun. We eat the right number of calories, which is not necessarily less than you've been eating. We drink the right amount of water, which is half your body weight in pounds in ounces of water. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. We get the right amount of sleep, which means that we go to bed at the same time every night. We get up at the same time every morning. And honestly, we don't spend too much time worrying about how much in between that was actual sleep, you know? We exercise moderately every day with a workout just like this one that is not necessarily more than you've been doing before. And my friends, we manage our minds, the most important thing of all, by finding our thoughts and deciding if they're helpful. And today's possibly helpful thought. It's one of my absolute favorites, but I'm going to explain it to you during our workout so that you can understand exactly why I think it's helpful. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. My helpful thought is I direct, not control. And I know for those of you who are just born controllers like I am, I am a self-professed control freak, my friends. That might not sound helpful at first, and here's how you know whether or not it's helpful, by the way. Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? It's really that simple. Let me tell you about our workout today, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the difference between directing and controlling. My friends, we are power walking today, which means I've got the handy dandy gym boss set from intervals of 1 minute of walking and 30 seconds of other fun, low impact cardio, absolutely no jumping, no transition to the ground exercises. It is non-stop, my friends. None of those intervals is rest, but since we come back to walking so much, feel free to take it all at a pace that just feels absolutely perfect and perfectly moderate for you. Let's go ahead and get started with our walking. Feel free, by the way, this is a nice long interval. You can walk around, you can have your hands up, your hands down, you can dance, you can shimmy, you can do whatever you want with it. I'm gonna stay in one place just so I can stare at the camera, but feel free to make this workout your own. Put on some music if you want to, have fun with it. Everything that we do around here is all about directing ourselves to having fun so that we can continue with the workouts day after day. We can continue being consistent day after day. And here's why I have this thought about I direct, not control. Because we can do the exact right things every single day. We can eat the calories, we can drink the water, we can sleep, we can exercise, we can manage our minds, and yet your body is the one that is actually in control of whether or not you are losing weight. Let me tell you, we're doing walking stars here. Forward, forward, back, and back. I had a feeling that was coming up. Thank goodness I've got the preview on the screen, right? Because I wasn't thinking about what we were doing next. I'm still thinking about this directing versus controlling thing. When it beeps again, we're coming right back to walking. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it. There is no repeating exercises today. So if this one feels especially tough for you, I know walking stars sometimes is. Took me a long time to get the hang of this one. Coming back to walking. You do not have to do it again for the rest of today, unless you want to, and maybe you do. My friends, here's the thing about thinking about being a director rather than a controller. If you want to be in control of things, then it means that you are trying to, frankly, control things that you don't control. Your body is operating billions with a B of processes every single minute of every single day. Your weight is only one of those things. And frankly, your weight is actually a byproduct of all of the other processes that your body is doing. By the way, when it beeps again, we are going to do wide open side kicks, which means you can have your elbows up at shoulder height. You can open your hands nice and wide while you're kicking to one side and then the other. This is all cardio today, but feel free, if you need to like think some of these other exercises, feel free to take it at whatever pace feels best to you, my friends. You are directing this workout, but you're not really controlling it. And this is really important, what I'm thinking about talking about with this helpful thought today. I am technically in control of this workout because I'm the one who programmed it, I'm the one who's filming it, but you get to direct it any way you want to. And by directing it, you are not necessarily controlling the outcome of what you get from it. Right back to walking, my friends, especially when it comes to your body. But honestly, if weight loss is not your goal, this helpful thought, it's one of the ones that I love for things like my business, for things like my family relationships, for things like my fitness goals. I love to think about following the right direction towards my goal, but not necessarily being in control of all the details. When you think about it that way, you know you're aiming in the direction of your goal weight or your goal size or your goal whatever your goal is. That is a point in space, kind of like the North Star if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, where you're a sailor at night aiming for the North Star. That's where you're going to go. But you don't actually control the ocean. The ocean's going to roll underneath you, but you can still aim in the direction of what you want. When it beeps again, we're doing cheerleader kicks right now. Hands up, they stay at your shoulders or higher. Kicking forward, this brings your heart rate up, 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 my friends, in an effort to make sure that today is under your direction, not always your control. Keep this at a pace that feels good to you. Maybe that's slower than me. Maybe it's faster than me. Maybe it's exactly the same. You don't actually have to do any of that. You are in the director's seat. You thought I was going to say you're in control, huh? The fact is you are in control of moving your body at a particular pace, but thinking about it as being the director. Now, I am not musically inclined, but I still think this analogy kind of holds about being the director, the conductor. It's not like you are controlling any individual instrument. You are allowing your orchestra to do their job, but you, as the head of the organization, as the director, the orchestrator, composer, not composer. One of you will know the word. I just said it, it's not coming back to me. When you are in that position, you are directing everybody who is playing. So you are, in essence, still controlling the music, but not in individual control. When it beeps again, we're doing punch down, tap outs, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna punch down and we're gonna tap out. My friends, when we think about trying to be in control of everything, the reason I like this particular helpful thought, it feels helpful to me. When I think I'm in control of something, I just want you to think about that for a quick second. When you think I'm in control of, for example, my weight loss, does that actually feel good? When I think I'm in control of my weight loss, I'm very skeptical. I'm like, no, I'm not. My body's in control of that. Here we go back to walking. Because I know, after years of not just losing my own weight, but helping hundreds of women in person and hundreds of thousands of you online, your body is in control, my friends. You are in control of what you eat. You are in control of going to bed. You are in control of getting out of bed. You are in control of how much water you drink. You are in control of how much you exercise, but you're not in control of what that exercise actually does. You're not in control of how much you actually sleep when you're in bed. You're not in control of how much your body digests or uses of the food that you take in. There's so much of this process that you are only directing instead of controlling. When it beeps again, we're doing toy soldiers. Hands up overhead, opposite hand, reaching towards your opposite kicking foot. And the thing is that being somebody, I've I'm gonna call myself a recovering control freak, honestly, because I really have come to understand and enjoy being a director instead of a controller. When I try to control things, what that feels like for me is pressure or skepticism for things that I know I'm not actually in control of, or like worry, because sometimes when I'm trying to be in control of something that I don't actually know how to do or what to do or how it might turn out, here we come back to walking, I almost never actually feel good when I tell myself that I'm in control of something. Because honestly, like 99.9% of the time, we're really not. Now, you will probably hear me say numerous times, if not here, then on my podcast, the Fitness Matters podcast, I talk about how, we're not in control of anything out there, but we are in control of our thoughts and therefore our feelings, and then our feelings drive our actions, which helps us get results. You are in control of your thoughts, but honestly, I'm going to tell you, even that, you're much more of a director than a controller. Your brain is going to think thoughts automatically all the time. It's what your brain does. It's what it's supposed to do. Your brain's efficient. It thinks a thought. It gets no resistance. So it just thinks it again and again and again. It's why sometimes we think the same things over and over. It's why song lyrics get stuck in your head. When it beeps again, we're doing big arm side shuffles. I'm going to scoot over here a little bit. Big arms right in front of you and shuffling to the side and back again. So rather than thinking about I have to be in control of my thoughts, how about just being the director of your thoughts, noticing that your thoughts are in your head, noticing that your brain is doing what your brain does, just like your body does what your body's gonna do. You are directing your brain to think things that are helpful and move away from things that are not helpful. When you notice, here we come back to walking, when you notice that a thought doesn't feel good, you can simply remind your brain, oh, hey, that's a thought that doesn't feel good. That's a thought that doesn't feel helpful to me. I wonder if I could think a helpful thought. Let me direct my brain towards a helpful thought. The other analogy I love to think about, I was a preschool teacher for a long time. I know that comes out a lot when I'm telling you things. Sometimes I'm like, so now what we're gonna do next. I still have my Miss Paula apron on, in my mind. When I was a preschool teacher, trust me, I was not in control of those children. When it beeps again, we're gonna do forward hinge arm flappers, which is basically a deadlift. Honestly, you're thinking about moving your butt back and forward and back and forward. As your butt moves back, your torso is very naturally gonna bend forward, but don't think about just leaning forward. Think about scooting your butt back and bringing your butt forward. Your arms are gonna do jumping jacks, even though there's absolutely no jumping today. The thing about being the director of the kiddos, because I had 3 and 4-year-olds. Gosh, I love them that age. They're so fun. They're just autonomous enough to understand that they can do stuff, but they're also still very malleable. Like I could direct them, but I definitely couldn't control them. So I was in control of, here we come back to walking, of the timer. I would look at the clock and I would know that it was time for circle time, or I would know that it was time to go outside, or I would know that it was time to do this or that or the other thing. But truly, on any given day, the schedule was rather fluid based on what are the kids doing? How long is this task actually taking? How long did it really take to get through that book and answer their questions? How long did it really take for everybody to sit down? How long did it really take for everybody to put on their coats before we could go outside? Those kinds of things. I was in direction. I was the director of the day. We would go in this direction. We would go in that direction. It was time to do this. It was time to do that. But I was not in control of any specific thing, and certainly not any specific child at any given time. The day was under my direction. The day was not really under my control. And when you think about it like that, this is why I find this to be really, really specifically helpful for weight loss. Here we go with dancing X's. Arms are wide, legs are wide, meeting in the middle. Little crunch, your opposite elbow, your opposite knee. When you think about aiming in a direction, you know where you're going. You feel very certain about directing yourself to a particular place. You've got a goal weight, you've got a goal number, you've got a goal size, you've got a goal something, a finish line of sorts. like everything. Come back to walking. I mean, you'll be done. You won't necessarily be finished. But that's getting way ahead of myself. Okay, so you are aiming in the direction of that. As long as that's your direction, it doesn't matter what's going on the way there. Really specifically, it does not matter when your weight fluctuates. And I said when, not if. My friends, I need you to know your weight is going to fluctuate. I don't care how often you weigh yourself. I suggest every day just so that you can get used to it, so that you can figure out your mind drama around the numbers. When it beeps again, by the way, we're doing punch, punch, kick. I'm gonna get myself mentally ready for that one because it's a punch, and a kick. And I always have to think about what my brain and my body are doing with that. When you know what direction you're aiming to a single point in space over there, it does not matter how you get there. And I mean that nicely. There are absolutely extreme ways that you can do things. Punch, punch, and kick. Punch, punch, and kick. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when your weight goes up and down, because your weight does. Your body, billions of processes a day. Taking in food, putting out energy is only a couple of those things. I don't know exactly how many processes are involved with digesting and then putting out energy, but several, maybe even several hundred of those processes are involved with that. That's not very much, here we come back to walking, that you are actually in control of. And frankly, to your body, a fluctuation of a couple of pounds is actually still very much staying the same. Your body wants to stay the same as much as possible. So in order to get it to lose weight, we have to kind of act like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay the same. Everything's okay. Everything's totally cool here. We're gonna stay the same, but also we're gonna eat just a little bit under what we actually need for the day. And then, because you've got, storage of energy, you can go ahead and use that stored energy to get us through our day. Everything's fine. Everything's totally fine. You're directing your body by doing the things. Your body is in control of exactly how much it weighs. And when you know what direction you're going, those fluctuations, that's your body being your body. You're not in control of the exact number on the scale on any given day. When it beeps again, you guys, we're doing upside down jacks. So hands start up overhead. We really step out to the side. I mean, this is almost, if you were gonna bend your knee, it would almost be a side lunge. Like, that's how big of a step this is. We're throwing ourselves off balance. What? Because if you know me at all, and maybe you don't, but I will tell you, the thing that I love to do is practice a little bit of balance, a little bit at a time, you guys. And this is one of my favorite ways, practicing balance while we're doing cardio. I love me some cardio. Here we come back to walking. And I love me some balance work. Yes, that is foreshadowing, you guys. When it beeps again, I'm just going to tell you now, because I noticed that we're getting really low on my list and I'm having a harder time finding where we are while I'm talking, so I'm going to tell myself now, we're doing reach across crunch. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to reach across and swoop over and crunch, like an oblique crunch on that side. When you think about being the director rather than the controller, to me personally, and I'm gonna continue telling you my opinion of this, I really truly though want you to listen to that sentence and decide for yourself whether or not it feels helpful to you. Very frequently, specific words that I use have connotations to me that feel calming or feel centering or clarity or feel like open or generous. Like, these are words that I love. These are feelings that I love. So here we go with reach across and crunch. Reach across and crunch. Nice job. 30 seconds of this. Then we'll come back to walking, and we don't have to do this ever again today. We might do it again later this week. You never know. Depends on whether or not you're following along with me exactly. I actually don't know if we're doing it later this week or if you're picking some other older video. No matter what, we don't have to do it again today, which is nice. My friends, when a thought, here we come back to walking, when a thought is helpful to you, it's because of the really specific language. So this again is an example of how I am directing you. I love to give you directions so that you can have the success that you want. That is my job. I'm here to help you get your goal. I am here to help you reach your goal weight, your goal whatever. I mean, honestly, I know some of you are not here for weight loss. Some of you are here for fitness. Some of you are here for friendship. That's cool too, all of it. Whatever your goal is, I'm actually here to help you. But all I can do is direct you. I can't control you. And that to me feels amazing, because when I'm offering direction, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm like, here we go, here's all the information you need. When you are in control, and I am not, it means that you get to do whatever it is you're going to do. Here we are with Drinky Bird Jacks. There's a reason I didn't announce that one. It's because I forgot. But also because I know that some of you love Drinky Bird Jacks. You guys, this is our last exercise in our, not a circuit at all, but I tell you what, when we're done with this, we're not exactly done. We're going to do one more walking interval, and then of course, I'm going to finish us off with a little bit, whoo, doggies, of balance work. So our next walking interval is going to be a little bit more gentle to bring our heart rate down a little bit. And yes, I know, I told you that you're in control. Because my friends, I don't want you to think that you're not in control of anything. You actually are in control of drinking water. You are in control of going to bed at the same time every night. You are in control of what you eat. You are in control of pushing play and doing moderate exercise. You are in control of doing the work to manage your mind. There are actions that you control. It's the outcomes that you are directing. My friends, when it beeps again, we're doing hands up step backs, which is exactly what it sounds like, and that's why I called it that. We're gonna have our hands up, and we're gonna step back. And you're gonna step back, I'm gonna say as far as you can, which means that it might be like 2 inches, it might be 12, it might be 1.5 feet, or I don't even know how big my stride is. But it's whatever you can do. We're stepping back, whoo, stepping forward, stepping back, and stepping forward. I really have to concentrate and think about this. We're allowing your center of gravity to move behind you. If you need to put your hands down, put your hands down. If you need to hang on to something, hang on to something. This is balance work, my friends. We're not trying to knock ourselves out or fall over or tweak our hip or our knee or whatever. This is small doses of a little bit of balance work that'll get us every place we want to go. My friends, I know that was me taking a bow because I'm the director. Let's cool this down. My friends, here's what I really want you to know about that helpful thought. If it doesn't feel helpful, even through 23 minutes of me explaining how it is in fact helpful, it's only helpful to me. If it's helpful to you, keep it. If it still doesn't feel quite right, tinker around with it in your mind. What other word or words would feel helpful? What is it that you can tell yourself about your direction, about your control, about what you're in charge of, about what you're responsible for? What can you tell yourself that feels really good and really loving on your way to getting your goal? Because that part honestly is under your control. You're gonna get there. You absolutely are. Absolutely. Because you're aiming for it. That's all it takes. You don't have to be in control of every single detail. You just have to keep it in your mind that that's where you're going. And that's where your body will follow. Let's open that up. And then, oh my gosh, close it up. Give yourself a great big hug and a pat on your sweaty back. I was so busy talking, I wasn't paying any attention at all to how sweaty I got. Got really sweaty. That was just right. That felt amazing. Thank you so much for working out with me today. You guys, this is day number 7 of 65, not exactly in a row. Eventually, over the course of this year, there's gonna be 65. But for this particular series, I got 3 more coming. So make sure, before you go, make sure that you click that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.